Everything you do is controlled by your subconscious energy. And although you can overrule it consciously, you can only do that for a very small amount of time. Eventually, you will be overruled by your subconscious and you'll fall back into old patterns. And sometimes you can do it for a fairly long period of time. Sometimes you can hold yourself to a new diet or a new exercise regimen, but you'll only have temporary results. And hopefully, if you're listening to this, the reason you're curious about it is because you've already experienced that cycle of making changes and then being back to the same point, if not farther behind, and needing to make the changes again. The first thing to understand is that trapped emotions are the cause of all the behaviors that you are partaking in. You're not actually in control of what you do. You're controlled by a subconscious energy. Your body wants to do what's good for it. Your body knows what to eat. It knows when to go to bed. It knows when to wake up. It knows when to move, when to sit still, when to relax. It knows what to do. But we have a subconscious programming that can work in alignment with letting you do what you want to do if you don't have trapped energies in the way. When you have a trapped energy, it messes with that programming and it gets you to do something different with your body that isn't aligned with health. If you focus on releasing the trapped energies that are in your subconscious programming, you'll have more moments when your body is free to do the things that it already knows to do. So how do you know if you have a trapped emotion? You have problems. There's something in your life that's not working. You might be heavier or lighter than feels comfortable, allergy, autoimmune, a disease, physical pain somewhere, indigestion, skin issues. The list is literally endless. If you've been in an abusive relationship, if you find yourself being aggressive yourself in a relationship, worry about your ability to parent, feel your parents are difficult, have a hard time with coworkers, have social anxiety, you always need to be alone, or you never want to be alone. You might worry incessantly about money, not enough money, too much money. Feel guilty about the money you have or don't have. An impending sense of doom at all times around money. If you've just got paid or if you're waiting for the next paycheck, you know where the money's coming from, or if you don't know where the money's coming from, never a sense of ease around money. We have so many money issues that we think that it's normal. It's like oxygen. You don't worry about where your next breath is coming from. So there is an entire level of ease with money that is an indication of not having a trapped energy that's showing up as a money problem. You can have a wellness around finances. Whatever problem you would list in your life, that is a sign that you have a trapped emotion in you. When we don't realize that trapped emotions are the cause of our issues, then we never ever look to releasing trapped emotions in order to solve the issues. Typically, looking at the external problem and then trying to figure out what is the solution that I can apply so that this changes. You can force yourself to apply those solutions. This is where you're consciously overriding the programming in your subconscious. So you're not looking at the trapped emotion, you're just applying a solution. And we all know that can work, but it only works temporarily, or for some people it doesn't even work. They just cannot force themselves to do what's good for them and they can't figure out why. And I'm telling you, it's because there's trapped emotions inside of you. So if we could just get to a place where we start to recognize that whatever we can see happening externally, it's a trapped emotion that is manifested as a problem. You can see it. It's become physical. It's very, very seductive to think problem's physical, so I need to deal with it in the physical. You don't. You can deal with it in the energetic and release the trapped emotion that is causing that problem to begin with. You won't need to apply a solution because the problem will no longer exist. When you release a trapped emotion, you'll find yourself wanting to do healthier behaviors because your body is allowed to do what it knows is good for it. So there's a couple ways of how to release trapped emotions. They're deceivingly simple. There's a really good chance that you're not going to actually invest the time into doing it because it's so simple that you'll overlook it. We're really conditioned to think if it's not hard, it's not worth doing. How you release the emotions that are controlling your behaviors. You don't have to worry about the behaviors. Your body will just be allowed to do things that are good for it. Number one is an emotion code session. So hire an emotion code practitioner to do a release with you. The practitioner can communicate with your subconscious energy, directly points to what trapped energies are allowed to release right now. Swipe will release those energies. And that's unbelievably effective. I still have a hard time believing in it, and it doesn't matter. It works anyway. So it's that easy. The second way is to stay present with yourself when you're feeling a feeling in the moment and let that be as simple as it actually is. This is an extremely effective way to release trapped emotions, but it takes practice. Most of us have decades of experience not staying present when we feel a feeling. We're very unique and individual, and the reasons we avoided feeling the feeling to begin with might have kept us safe from abusive partners or parents. It maybe allowed us to fit in to our community or our culture, to suppress feelings and not have to feel them. Just hide the fact that you're having them, just keep pushing them down, keep hiding them. Give myself a pep talk, or make sure I went to the gym so that I could shift that energy and feel better, or start drinking some wine when I made supper and finally kind of feel better. All of those alternative ways of feeling avoidant of just being present with the depression. Just feel it. Stay present with the feeling. The emotion of depression has a very low frequency. So it's really uncomfortable to feel. It's counterintuitive to think, well, yeah, I'm just going to receive all of that and feel it. Yet that is precisely the thing to do. Stay present and feel it. Also have thoughts when you're present. Your thoughts are not going to like the new practice of you staying present. Your thoughts are going to say, this is a waste of time. You can't just welcome depression. You need to do something, or this depression is going to take over. How long is this going to take? This is never going to work. This is dangerous. What the hell is, like, who's Jody anyways? Has anyone else ever told me to stay present? It's extra challenging to continue to stay present when the mind starts to give you reasons to pop out of the present and to start to go with the thought. And so that's why it's a practice. You'll be bad at it at first. Big deal. You'll get better and better and better at it. But I'll promise you this. The first time you have an experience where an emotion that you're so conditioned and so familiar with, it's just not there, and you recognize, I stayed present with it last time. I welcomed it in. I stayed with it until I couldn't find it anymore. And then the next time that same circumstance that normally triggers that emotion to come up and there's nothing triggered, that's when you'll get really invested in the practice of staying present and cleaning out heaps. Like, there's lots of trapped emotions. Every single problem you have is showing you a trapped emotion that you have inside. Let that sink in. And the second thing I want you to hear is that it's ridiculously simple to release trapped emotions, and it's really hard. It's complicated. You've had years and years and years of experiences. I strongly encourage you to, the next time you feel something, get really curious about, where is this in my body? Where do I feel it? If you find you practice that and you cannot do it, you can't tolerate it, you don't want to see, you can't even remember to do it, then you might want to consider booking an emotion code session and let me help you with some of that. The link for that will be under this video. If you have questions, please ask me questions. I'll answer as many questions as you've got. I really sincerely hope that this was helpful. Have a fantastic day, everyone.